Anybody joining us mid-conversation here, we're trying a new format where we're going to be doing some co-working. We call it co-working. I promise you it's not just going to be me and Sean sitting in silence typing in other windows, because that would be fucking stupid. But we do work through a lot of work problems on a daily basis. I mean, we're always communicating with either just each other or the rest of the team. We have all this stuff going on all the time with client issues, internal issues, and we figured that we would take the time to do this a couple of times a week. Obviously, we're not going to show you the whole thing, and we'll make sure we edit out all the pauses. And there's certain things we can't talk about, or we can't say like certain clients' names. That just wouldn't be. It wouldn't be. We're not going to get sued, but it just wouldn't be cool. So we can't mention specifics, but we are going to get into the things that we deal with as a marketing team on a regular basis, and not just a marketing team, but just a small business team, just having to deal with bullshit that any business owner has to deal with. Riverside has come out with some new cool features. Anybody who's thinking about doing, even if it's not a video podcast, just some type of webinars or anything else where you're going to be on camera. Obviously, Zoom's the big one, Google Meet's the other one, but Riverside just came out with a bunch of new cool shit that we have to stay on top of for this, and it helps us editing and everything else. So this is our first little time that we're getting together. It's actually just going to be our morning meeting, but we're going to work through a bunch of shit. What we've noticed lately is our channel views and growth had slowed down because we weren't posting shorts like before. We were maniacs in the beginning. We were posting 3 shorts a day, which is, it sounds weird because it's not a lot of work, but it is, because Riverside does pull shorts. They're okay, but then they still need to be like, edited, or let's say in one short, I'm talking over here, then I need to go into the little box. So all those little things for getting like 3 shorts a day aren't hard to do. It's just like, do you want to spend 3 hours on your weekend doing it? So we got to pick that back up again. And hopefully the editor's a little bit better, but we were getting a lot of views and a lot of traction in the beginning there because we were doing that a lot. And we kind of just like anything else, because this is like a side project, quote unquote. It's just like, we have other things we need to get to. We're going to start doing that again. We weren't posting as frequently because we both got busy and we're moving around. And so anyway, we're jumping back into it. So one of the things that we're going to talk about this morning is, geez, cut that off. It's like,
I thought I muted myself. I pressed the mute button. I thought I did. I didn't.
We just throw up into the computer. So one of the things is we haven't really kept up with the social media aspect of the show. Of course, my camera's going to blur now because I move around too much. It can't focus on my red face, so it's having a hard time picking me up against this background. So with social media stuff, I'm going to work on my LinkedIn profile. You're going to lean more into Instagram, because these days, what platform do you choose? I mean, LinkedIn's like the professional storefront, but Instagram's like kind of where everybody goes. So social media stuff, we got to figure out how the fuck we're going to do that. And then we've got some clients this week that, some interesting situations with clients. And again, without giving names, we'll get into that. So anyway, I'll shut up now. What's going on down there with you?
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, the idea for these like co-working ones, because we're getting a lot busier with agency clients and more things that we're collaborating on. So we figure, we're mainly communicating through either WhatsApp, or basically just WhatsApp is our main communication source, and via email is what we do for our clients. So we wanted to start coming out with an idea of like, okay, well, let's meet up every Monday and every Friday, where we can start the week on to going over topics that we need to do for our clients, and then recapping it on a Friday. So then we're like, well, why don't we just record what we do? So this is a great little, 2 birds, 1 stone kind of theory. So as far as what's going on here, it's been it's been nice. I had a friend visit for a week, and I'm settled into my new condo. You guys get a nice view of my closet pantry area. Usually I have the camera set up the other way, but because it's a co-working station, I have my screen here, my computer here, another screen over here. So instead of moving it around just to work, I'm just setting it up right here. So we're really excited for this. And on the note of picking up traction again, I've noticed that there was this weird little lull in February. January is really busy. February is like this lull. And now all of a sudden March is coming around. It's like the birds are chirping back in Canada and North America. People are kind of getting out of their winter hibernation, little like, oh, winter sucks, which it does. I don't blame you guys for hating winter. But it's starting like, hey, like, what am I going to do this year? So there's been a lot of momentum kind of going up right now. And it's been picking up a lot. It's been busy. So there's been a lot of growth, a lot more messaging, outreach. We actually have a friend of mine is going to be starting a big outreach program for us, for the agency as well. He's going to be doing a lot of email, cold calling. He does it for a profession. He works for a large company. I'll leave the company name out. Back in Canada, he's been with them for about 6 years. So that's his season job, is doing that. But the springtime...
Tim Hortons. It's Tim Hortons, everybody. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, Timmy Hortons.
That's what everybody thinks of when they think of cat.
Yeah. Tim Hortons or A&W. Yeah, that's it. Those are the two. So he's gonna be working for us for the next few months because it's a slow season for him because he's mostly in like the construction industry. So right now it's a spring breakup. There's not a whole lot of things going on. So really cool thing. I just checked our YouTube channel. We're at 50 subscribers now. And last time I checked, we're around the 40 something. So we're actually, just from realizing that we need to start doing this more and posting more and recording more, it's been growing. And I really appreciate it for our 50 subscribers. Thank you.
That's right. Yeah.
I'm looking for 5,000. That'd be a good way to end the year. If we get to
Yeah.
5,000, that'd be awesome. Even if we get to 1,000, that'd be 1K?
Well, let's get to 51 before the U.S. expands to 51 states and takes Canada and Greenland and Panama, whatever the other planets are.
We'll be at 51 first.
Yeah, let's get to 51 first. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we've had a bunch of shit this week, and this is normal client stuff, and that's why we kind of wanted to bring this to everybody because we run into problems on a daily basis. I'm like, God, we got to tackle all this shit, and we're not the only ones out here doing it. So one of the things we ran into is we have a client in a particular industry that has specialty platforms that they work with. They work with specialized email platforms. And for those not familiar with email platforms, we're talking like, MailChimp, your Klaviyo, ConvertKit, ActiveCampaign, the ones that the big players in the field. And then obviously the websites can be built, WordPress, you name it. And then some industries require third-party tools for their specific needs. This particular client has needs that go beyond just what somebody can do in like a Klaviyo, for example, like an e-com store. And then they have particular needs on the website side of things that go beyond what a normal, like simple WordPress plugin can do. And the issue that we're running into, we have to dance around making sure I don't mention, I'm not necessarily worried about mentioning the client. I just don't want to mention the other company. So we'll make sure we cut this out. If we do, you all will know. So we're taking over the account from another marketing team, and the original marketing team had built this client's website with these specialty tools. And when I say specialty tools, that doesn't mean that we can't get them. It's just something in addition to what we normally would use or a normal team would use. And they built the website, and as anybody knows anything about WordPress, if you build a site for somebody, let's say Sean builds a one-off site for somebody and turns it over just for a flat fee, he just turns over the login. He gives people the login. And if it's another, just share it. Or if it's another marketing team and somebody takes over, even though we would hate to lose that contract, we're like, the right thing to do is say, okay, well, I'm no longer you don't want to get that reputation where you're going to be difficult. So like, okay, well, here you go. Here's all the logins, everything you guys need to know. Have fun. Good luck. But this particular situation, the original team is holding on to control of the website, the platforms. The website and the email platform are kind of intertwined because of the specialty. And we've had some issues dealing with that. We've had to put in, instead of just going in and making quick edits to copy on the page and everything else, we're having to put in like email tickets for every little change and everything, which I have to work on today. And what that's causing is not only is our client having to pay this former team still to upkeep with the support and the maintenance, but now we have to take extra time instead of just going in. For example, like Sean's the website expert, but I know how to at least change font. So if I had to change something, I would just go in and do it because we would all have the login. But now it's like, fuck, now we have to make this whole list of things. And then anybody who's dealt with websites or anything else will know that you could go in and change a sentence or a font or a color or like a box or spacing. You hit save and then you hit preview and then you don't like it. And then you go back. It could take you a while to get it just right. And we're having to do that now piecemeal through email with this particular client. So anyway, we're dealing with that this week, and we're kind of in the middle of it. Sean, I don't know if you have any comments on that, but
yeah, the frustrating part that's really coming up for us is we're taking over the SEO contract of it. So with SEO, when you do the research, you find the keywords, you go through the SERP checks, whatever it might be that you're doing when it comes to SEO, you have to implement those changes yourself, right? Because so basically, like I'm doing some of the SEO, and I also have 2 SEO specialists that I have underneath me that are employees of mine, well, ours, I guess I should say, that are doing this work. So what's happening now is it's bottlenecking a lot of the progress. So instead of us just doing the research and implementing the keywords where we need them, I now have to get myself and my team members to write a list of the keywords and where we need to make these changes, show where the changes need to be, and then we need to send these changes to this other company that's basically kind of like holding the client hostage who won't give access. They won't give admin access to their own website that they paid for because they're still in control of the web development. So now it's feels like this client is having to pay twice in a sense for us to do the research. Then we send the research to this other client for them to implement the work. But if anyone's done SEO before, like it's hard to explain where these changes need to be exactly, which title, which backlink, which H1 heading needs to be changed to H2. So it's creating this whole like necessary extra amount of work. So it's kind of frustrating. So now I'm getting my guys to do all the research. Then I send an email once a week to our client and to the company. I almost said the name. I almost said it. I almost dropped it for them to make the changes. So it's like, it's really, really slowing progress. And because of that, it's hard for us to really identify, like, is it us that's making it? So let's say if the SEO isn't working, it's hard for the client to see, is it because of us or is it because of the delay in the changes, or are they not making the changes properly? So it's like, who takes the blame if something doesn't work, right? So that's the problem we're coming. I'm looking at, I have a 3-page doc of like tasks that need to be done, keywords submitted, and then a lot of it's like, I put in bold, or was it? For on-page SEO, I need website login details access. It says we don't have full access. We're not able to handle SEO tasks at the moment. Once we gain full access, we're able to take care of optimizations ourselves, ensuring everything is done efficiently and aligned with our strategy. So it's like, yeah, it's frustrating.
Yeah, well, for sure. And again, this is delaying things. So this is the type of company that would highly benefit from showing up on the first page of Google, or even like the top. And for every day that they are not, that's thousands of dollars that they could be losing. So at what point is it's just negligence here? Like, hey, are you guys going to get this done on time? And I'm not just talking about the SEO. I'm talking about like all the aesthetic changes we need made and everything to the site and all that. And so I guess what we should do is work through how we're going to deal with it. We've had some thoughts on this already. So when people watch this, they're like, okay, you guys have this problem, but what are you going to do about it? And we don't really know yet. We have a few options. One of them would be, we just try to work with these people, which we're doing now. We're trying to like be good about it and like trying to like lean on them and make sure like, hey, make these changes as soon as you can. Now, the changes I need them to make aren't as consequential as yours, because SEO, like you mentioned, how do you monitor and fine tune those things if you don't have access? And now we may have some larger things. We may have to do some like larger design changes to the site and everything else. There's a lot going on at the same time. And like I mentioned, the client's still paying these people. So a couple things there. We're not getting that money, and we're doing all this extra work. The client's delayed in getting their benefit from this, getting a website refresh and the SEO and all that crap. And so they're losing money. Everybody's kind of losing money here. And well, except for the old team who's still collecting money to sit and collect support tickets and all that and try to help us out. So we're trying to figure out how to work through that. At a certain point, we may have to give them an ultimatum and say they just need to turn the site over, because right now they're using the excuse like, well, we built a site, it's our login or whatever. I'm like, well, it's WordPress. You can add as many admins as you want to that shit.
Yeah.
It's not that big of a deal.
What I'm confused about is they're saying it has something to do with like privacy information or like data withholding, but like I built, I don't know, 20 WordPress websites in the last 5 years. I've never heard of another company saying that if they give someone else admin access, it's going to give me access to their agencies or their company's information. That doesn't make sense. Everything is housed within WordPress. So like if I get admin access, I'm not going to be able to like weasel my way into, I was going to say the name again, but company X's information. All the data and all the points of the website are going to be on WordPress. So like they're using it as an excuse to hold them hostage and to make sure that the client keeps paying this company X money. So it's this weird, like they're just kind of like bullshitting in a sense, like, oh, we can't give access to the site that you own.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that doesn't make sense at all. And the type of industry. Yeah. No. And the type of industry that they're in, sure, there's a lot of client information in there. Nothing's secret. Nothing that we couldn't get if we were working on an e-com store. The same type of information, credit card information. So what? We've got millions of those.
The only thing that does make sense is when we took over the Google Ads, we asked for access to the Google Ad account. Now that they created the Google Ad account within their Google umbrella, so therefore they don't want to give us admin access to that ad account because it's tied into all the other ad accounts that they have. So that makes sense. I get that.
Sure.
Right? Like we'll create, which would be nice. Like I want that login because they have all the analytics, the data points, the demographics, that kind of stuff. So that I get that. But the WordPress, that's just bullshit to me. That's just straight up like we're fucking lying to you.
Yeah.
But
And if
Yeah,
we
I
could
mean,
get them to work faster and make the changes we wanted, and it wasn't like all this back and forth, because like you mentioned, now we both have to take time today and type out and make looms of like, can you change this paragraph to this? And can you go in and do this? Now I'm going to spend too much time doing that today, and just to send it over to them, just for them to tell me, oh, can we hop on a call to make sure this is correct? And it's going to take 4 times as long. I don't know. It's just ridiculous. So
well,
we're trying to figure out how to handle it.
that's kind of weird too. Is you said, yeah, you send them a loom, and then they want to hop on a call to go over what you just said in a loom. I'm like, that doesn't make any. That's why I record a
Fucking
video.
people
God.
in their meetings, man. It's a default. It's a default to meetings, and I swear, because
Yeah,
I'm,
you're
yeah,
anti-meeting. I know it.
yeah. Well, I thought it was going to die with people my age. I thought that there's no way that people in their 20s and 30s were still going to want to have meetings all the time. Sure enough, there are some 20, early 20s, late 20-year-olds that I would deal with from some agencies in California. Maybe that's the problem. It's California. They want to be on call all the time. I don't know what it is, but I've just like really, it's a lot of people's knee-jerk default setting is we have to hop on a call or a meeting. Well, think about this. Just read what I just sent you and then watch what I just sent you and then really think about if this needs to be a meeting or not. That's a whole other show though.
Yeah.
Talking about that shit. But we're just trying to figure out what to do with these guys. Do we need to give them an ultimatum? Do we need to, because again, it's a third party platform that we could get. It's not like it's a secret proprietary thing that they coded themselves. Do we need to just rebuild their entire thing? It may come to that where we're going to rebuild their entire site, all their underlying platforms that connect everything, and just do it all new and fresh. I hope it doesn't come to that. It shouldn't come to that. That'd be very childish of them to keep holding on to this shit. So what would we do in this situation? Well, we're trying to figure that out right now. We're doing it. We're trying to be adults about it and kind of take it in stages so that we're being cordial and trying to make things happen. But we have to like really document everything. And if anybody else runs into this, make sure that you really keep track of emails. You can star emails, or you could throw them into a folder. I always create like a folder like for these people to make sure that it filters to this folder. So if I have an issue with them in the future, I can go in and find them without having too much trouble. A Gmail now has an AI assistant, a Gemini or whatever, that'll dig those out for you too. And just really keeping track of everything that was supposed to be done. And it sounds annoying because it is. And if anybody's worked for a large corporation or government, that you know how it is. I'm sure you saw this on the railroads and everything, all your other jobs, is that when people start having to write down things, they start keeping track, whether there's a union involved, like, oh, what time did he clock out? And everybody's like writing in their notepads, and you really have to document fucking things and keep records, which really just makes for a shitty fucking collaboration. So
Yeah.
we're trying to figure out what to do. If we have to like start over, that'd be great. I don't know reputation wise. I don't know how this will affect the other company. Maybe it won't matter at all. But it's shitty. I'm sure it won't be the last time we run into it. So email stuff we had to try to get from them. They're still paying. The client's still paying for their email provider and some consulting there. They've been a little bit easier to deal with. And then this whole website and SEO thing has just been a mess. There's a client that let's say you get a client and they had a previous marketing team and that marketing team doesn't want to let go or provide or share any information. What can you do about it? And what are the long-term ramifications of that? And how do you come in and price yourself accordingly? Because they may still be paying this previous team. And now what are we supposed to do? Come in and charge them full price when they're still paying somebody else? That's what situation we're in right now. So I don't have the answer to all these things.
I mean, my two things. I'm gonna go a little off topic on this one. First of all, I'm loving this whole co-work idea because like I've literally been like listening, paying attention, and doing work at the same time. It's been great. Doing posts in my group chats and working on my men's circle stuff, and I'm like, but still like active. I'm like, this is fucking awesome.
They'll get shit done.
When you're doing an interview, it's like you're paying full attention because you want to listen to what they say, so you can come up with a question and like respond back properly. And you also don't want to be like someone's talking on an interview and you're like la 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 la. So it's a very different concept. I mean, my piece of advice is if you are an agency and you do have web development clients, don't be a dick. Give them access. Just don't be a fucking asshole. Like, oh, to have our services, we can only give you subscriber access. Like, no, the client, that's why when I build sites for people, 99% of the time, I make the client pay for the hosting. They're in charge. I create credentials with their email. I create their own passwords. I create everything for them so that if they don't want to work with me anymore, they have full access to it. It's their site. They paid for it. So it's like, it's this, money hungry, like starve them out. Like, you know, you have to stay with us. If you want control, you have to, you know, it's just, I get the concept of it. It makes sense from a business point of view, but from a professional point of view, as far as like creating long lasting clients, it's like, people like holding someone hostage. It's like having a girlfriend and chaining her up to your basement. Yeah, she's yours because she's locked downstairs, right? Like it's not like it's a good relationship. Like it's like, oh, I'm stuck. Like, what's that movie, White Snake Moan? Like the guy, like, you know, white chained up that like skinny white girl. Like she was also a drug addict, so he was helping her detox. But still, like,
Yeah.
she's there, but she didn't really want to be there.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like this situation. Like they're there, but they don't want to be. But they're like chained to the company because they're holding them hostage. I think what we got to do today is today's Friday. So we did mention that we would send client A an email of updates that we did. I have a list already created for them in that Google Doc 03-12. So
Okay.
I think underneath, where was it? SEO
I can find it here. I got it here.
So yes, I do have it labeled tasks done for the week. And then so I have a list of tasks that we did do, and then approval from client A. I almost read it out loud again. So then there's just like, there's docs that my SEO guy did where he made changes to the pages. He didn't actually make the changes yet. He just wrote the wording and the copy out with proper keywords in there. So I send that off to them for approval. They're probably just going to say yes. Okay.
There you go. Yeah.
They're probably just going to say yes to the changes without actually looking at it. But I still want to send it off to them to do my due diligence, be like, well, you know, we did send this off to you. So that is from my end for the weekly updates that we need to send to them.
Well, that also reminds me of something else. Speaking of updates, so client updates, very important. We've had every client, you kind of have to meet them where they are. Some clients like Looms, which I prefer because I could send somebody a video they can watch more than once. Some clients like a weekly meeting, which is fucking terrible, but if they want it and you can't convince them otherwise, I mean, you could always try to talk them out of it. And some just want an email. The problem is we start doing email threads. You want to keep it a fresh email every time, or at least I like to. So that way you're not having this massive thread.
Yeah.
So this particular client wants an update every Friday. They also brought up a good point, and this is free in Google now. The Google Docs, you can make a form. So we have some questions that we need them to answer as we keep the project moving forward. And in Google Docs, you can go in and make it like a questionnaire form where they type in their answer versus just having them leave a comment. So that's something I'll be creating here as soon as we get done with this call. I forgot to do. So it'll be part of our update today. And yeah, just a client cadence on that. Yeah.
Yeah, I do like how this is probably the one client we've had where it's like, we just want one weekly email and one monthly call. I'm like,
sure.
Yeah. Usually it's like, hey, can we all put a call? Yeah. Honestly, guys, if you haven't seen the show before, I don't know why, but my computer had this setting set up ever since I got it. And like every time I do, like, I use thumbs up sometimes, and like, yeah, there they go. There it is. There's the fireworks.
It won't do it for me.
It's something with my AI. I don't know what it is.
Yeah. Oh, well.
If I do one, it's usually just a thumbs up. Usually a little bubble. There it is. I wonder if I can get a thumbs down. Does that work?
You should be able to. Yeah.
I'm in the future, boys. I'm in the future.
2025.
All right, so let's get some work done. So we got the task for approval done. I already sent off a ticket to client.
Problem A.
Problem A. Yeah, problem A. And for some reason, so here's another issue that's coming up too, is I had my developer create a page that client A wanted us to do. So we built it, but we couldn't code it in because we don't have access to the CSS coding. So now I got to send that page to company X, and they got to code it in for me. I'm like, so you're paying us to build it, and then you got to pay them to put it anyways. But now it's also coming up as a 404 error page, so it's not actually working anymore. I'm like, well, it worked last week when I asked you to put it in, but they didn't put it in, so now it's not working. I'm like, so I got to reach out to my developer and find out why it's not working. It's like, this should have been done 2 weeks ago, and it's like,
yeah, for sure. Yeah, no, it's going to be a constant problem. I mean, it's already been a problem, and we're not even barely taking over. But also, our client is very understanding. They know that some of the delays here, most of the delays are not from us, but it still is not a good look. Because, humans are humans, right? So subconsciously, they're like, we hired this new marketing team. We got rid of the other team that we didn't really care for, didn't want to work with anymore. But things aren't going great right now because of all these delays and because of this collaboration issue that we're having. And even though the client may understand, like, we get it's not these new guys, but it's still like we wanted to come in and give them all these results, and we're just not there, and we can't get there. So definitely something we'll be working on. Maybe by the next time we record one of these, there'll be some major meltdown, and we'll have some news on how we tackled the problem and pried the site and other components away from the other ones. So yeah, that's something to work on today. We'll get that done after this call. We need to figure out what we're going to do for shorts and things, repurpose wise. I got rid of that main repurpose account. We can open up just one, because repurpose is valuable. So for anybody who doesn't know what repurpose IO is, I like what they did. It's something where you just set up all these connections. It's like Zapier for social media. You go in, you set up all these workflows. So let's say we post a short on YouTube, it'll automatically post it over to, let's say, Sean's Instagram account, and then over to my LinkedIn, and it does it automatically. It kind of handles all the little titling and all the little bullshit that has to happen. Great product, but I was paying a lot of money for the agency versions, $125 a month. And then they stopped. For some reason, they were no longer working with YouTube, which is really weird. I don't know that it was their fault. It could be YouTube that shut them down. So we canceled that, but we have to figure that out. And as part of that, you're going to start doing more things on Instagram, and I'm going to lean into LinkedIn. Some of that's just because you're more active on Instagram. You always have been. My Instagram account is fairly new. The other some of that is I'm just an old white guy, so I do better on LinkedIn anyway, so why not? You know, it's kind of like my space. So so we're gonna start posting the show stuff and business information and other bullshit on those two channels. And it kind of goes back to the whole what is sustainable. You know, we talked about at the beginning of this, what could we keep up with to make sure that we're consistently posting and we're not like, oh my God, this is so much work. Like, who wants to hit a Sunday afternoon and be like, oh shit, we got to pull 30 shorts. Yeah, then we got to put them on all these platforms. And the original idea was for us to go on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and for both of us and the show to have their own accounts. So the Strat show would have its own accounts, and then Sean and I would have our own accounts, and we would use Repurpose IO or do some of it manually. And the fact of the matter is, it just wasn't sustainable because, again, we get very busy. So now we're just going to focus on one platform each, which is smart. So if you do work as part of a team, or if you have a small, whether you're doing a show like this or you have a small agency, it's something to think about, you know, where one person can lean into one platform, excuse me, and the other one can lean into the other. And we're going to try that. So.
Yeah. Now, when you looked at Repurpose, did they get that integration back from YouTube being the source? Do you know, have you started a new account yet for Repurpose or no?
Not yet, but I don't know how that's going to go because I don't think that they have that yet. And so the only roadblock we're going to run into is, I think you can just connect one Instagram, one platform each, which is fine because, again, we're just going to do your Instagram, my LinkedIn, maybe the TikTok channel. The reason we had to have the agency account before, which is far more expensive, is because we couldn't have more than one Instagram account connected. So that's why we were like bumped up. So I just went and canceled it without telling anybody else who was on there, because Ori was on there, Brittany was on there.
Yeah.
I was like, I got so frustrated, and I'm like, I see they're trying to invoice me for another $125, and I'm like, fuck, that's a lot of money.
Well, I'm on the Repurpose IO website right now, and I'm watching a little video on the side. It's saying that source. Maybe they just haven't updated the video because it's new or something like that, but it still shows that YouTube can be the source, which is ideal. Is what we want to do. We want to go from Repurpose or from Riverside, post the main video onto YouTube, and then in the shorts to YouTube, and then Repurpose will take all the shorts and the long version if we want to, and repurpose them onto the other platforms. So I'm just wondering, like, if YouTube isn't the source, there isn't a source option anymore, how are we going to use Repurpose? Will the source come from, we have to post all the shorts on Instagram directly from Riverside?
Yeah, I mean, it'll be an extra couple of steps. We actually take the originals and upload them to Instagram and add the text. I mean, it's not like the end of the world. So let's say every week we just downloaded X amount of shorts, and I put them in a Google Drive folder, or we went to Riverside and downloaded them each from our own ends. And then we uploaded them. I uploaded them to LinkedIn, you uploaded to Instagram. I mean, it would take probably, I don't know, 45 minutes a week for each of us to do it, like it wouldn't be like the end of the world if we didn't use Repurpose IO, but man, it was super convenient there for a while. Nope, I haven't even done that yet. No, I haven't done that yet. Yeah, I want to see where everything goes. And now if I can convince Brittany and Ori to pitch in on the agency account again, and we want to do that again, then that'll be fine, because I think the individual account at Repurpose is $40 a month, and I don't know if you're looking at it there or not. And I was paying fucking 3 times that. So if I can get everybody else to fucking jump in, then it makes sense to have the larger thing. So
Well, they should be paying if it's a service that you're providing.
you know how that goes, though.
Content marketer, $29 a month, billed annually for $349. Agency is $1,500 a year. Oh.
Yeah, it's just considerably more. And look, if you're big, if you're like Tamar Lyons or somebody who's got all kinds of accounts going on, shout out to Tamar.
I had a funny joke with her, actually. She's pretty public about it, but anyway, she just got her divorce papers finalized, and so I made a joke. I was like, well, hey, look, like, if we ever get married, you'll never have to change your name, right?
I didn't think about that. That's fucking great.
And then she's like,
yeah,
I didn't even change my name last time. I'm like, well, at least there won't even be a discussion about it. It's
yeah,
the same last name.
Dude, how fucking funny would that be? And then then of course the joke is funny, but then you'd always have to explain to people that you weren't related. Like, we're not cousins, I promise.
Yeah, I promise. Yeah, look, like, she's short, I'm tall. She's dark hair, I'm blonde. We're not related.
Yeah. Well, I mean, is she that short? I can't. Well, I guess I've only seen her on camera, but
everyone's short to me.
Everyone's short to you. That's true. Yeah. It's very rare that you have to look up to somebody. That's how I felt when we spent all those months in Southeast Asia, like Vietnam, Bali, and Kuala Lumpur, because I'm 5'10" and a half. So I'm just a little bit above average height. I'm not tall by any means, but like that for fucking 6 months, I had to look down at everybody. And I got back to the U.S. I'm like, oh my God, like my neck hurt because I was like looking down all the time.
Yeah, my buddy Zia, he's like, I don't know how tall he is, but he's short, right? So we're chatting, we're out having a drink one night, and I was having water and he was having a drink, but I was like, yeah, you know what? I either like really tall girls or really short girls, and he's like, short girls. I just call them women because they're his height.
Yeah. That's funny.
It's so funny. I just call them women. To me, they're short him.
Yeah, it doesn't even like really factor in, at a certain point.
It's good.
Yeah,
okay, so we got
guys.
We got some good takeaways. We got, we're gonna get the Repurpose.io done. We're getting the shorts back up and running. We're gonna create different playlists inside of YouTube. So instead of just calling it videos, it's gonna be interviews and then co-work sessions. And then a Repurpose.io, I saw you went in there and copied the information out of the doc already for tasks that have been done and completed this week. So do you want to I saw you copy it just because
I actually highlighted it too, because there's like a background, because you must have brought it in from somewhere else. I just removed all the highlighting because it had like a weird background tint on it. But I will need to take this doc though and make another doc that has a form in it for the client to answer these questions that we needed him to from before. Oh shit, I undid my highlights. Now I need to fucking reverse that. Yeah, because it was part of it. Let me see if I can reverse. Okay, never mind. So yeah, maybe I'll condense all this into one email later after I'm done with the form. That way it'll just be simple. And honestly, they're expecting an update today, but maybe not as much because we kind of been updating them the last 2 days. They know what we're doing. That's the other thing. Communication is key. A lot of clients will sit back, and even though you may be working like crazy behind the scenes, it's always good to update them and let them know that, hey, we're over here working to keep the relationship going. And that's I've made that mistake in the past. There's actually one example in particular. We were in Lakeland, Florida. Before I came down to Mexico, I think, and we met all you guys. This was a couple years back, and I had this client that I just assumed that he knew what I was doing because I would update him every few days. He was very high maintenance. He was an asshole. But anyway, I ended up having to refund him. It was the only time I've actually had to refund a sizable amount of money because I just wasn't communicating enough. Now, in my mind, letting him know a few updates a few times a week or a couple times a week was enough. It wasn't that way in his mind, and he got so. Now this is a personality problem on his part as well. But it wouldn't have taken me that much to send him a daily text message, do that, and I ended up getting frustrated and having to send some money back, which I did not like, and that could have been avoided had I just been like, look, this guy's an idiot. He just wants a daily text, and I didn't do it because I was stubborn. So that was a mistake.
Yeah. I think I probably, I don't want to say I've made more mistakes than successes, but you definitely learn from your mistakes a lot more than you learn from the victories. Right?
Hopefully. Hopefully we learn from this.
Yeah, like when it comes to women, it took me like 30,000 mistakes.
Yeah, well, yeah, no, I'm with you.
Oh yeah,
I'm with you.
Like, you get through a breakup, which I went through last month, and you're just like, you know what, I'm gonna do this, this, and this. I'm like, I'm not gonna do this, and I'm not gonna date these type of women. I'm just like saying to myself, I'm like, oh, don't do it again. Please don't do it again. But I've been doing good. I've gone on like 9 dates in the last 14 days.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's good though. I mean, well, it's good for several things. It just reminds you that, because like when you come out of something like that, you're like, was that the one or whatever? Which
Is
I
it
know
the
is
best
cheesy,
it's
but
gonna get?
yeah. So it does remind you, like, hey, the world's full of human beings that are awesome or okay,
Or better.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And then you're like, this is fun. I could do this. It's the mistake that we get into is like eventually it's when you move in and you share finances and things. That's when things start to get real complicated, because up until that point, it's not as complicated. But oh
No,
well. But
yeah.
we've done it. I've done it 100 times over.
Guilty. But I did learn a lot from this relationship of what I do and don't want. I think my biggest takeaway that I got was my next partner is not going to have a male coach at all. Like, and they're not going to work together because they'll end up falling in love and dating each other now. But there is one exception to that. There is one exception. My girlfriend can have a coach. That is a male, but he has to be so flamboyantly gay. Like I want photos of him and his husband on his profile. I want like ears pierced. I mean, like zero question at all. I want to like meet him and go, "Ugh, boobies, gross." Like just like something
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that, right? Like
Yeah.
just super gay. And that'd be
Yeah.
okay. Like,
Dancing
yeah.
around to Ricky Martin and all kinds of crazy shit. Yeah.
Vida vida loca.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's my new boundary with that. No straight male coaches for my partners. Not
Isn't
going through
it?
that again.
Yeah, and isn't it kind of shitty though? Like the whole situation. Not to get into all that again, but
Yeah.
that whole situation is so cliche though. With like what this guy does. I mean,
Yeah.
seriously, they make TV shows about like that kind of dumb shit.
Yeah. They try to warn people.
Yeah, they make movies about like just the weird guru. See,
Cult.
guys like that are the ones that fucking they give like people who really want to help people a bad name for
Absolutely.
whatever.
'Cause there are, and like there is, I mean, I'm not gonna like just completely trash talk him completely. There
Sure.
is a lot of like positive things that he does with his coaching and like the connection. Like there's a lot of good that comes from his theories and concepts, but it's kind of like communism. Like in theory, it's fucking the best form of government in the world. It's the best, right? Like I mean, everyone's equal, no one's starving, no one's rich. It's the best form of government theoretically.
Yeah.
That's like his coaching. Theoretically, it makes sense. Realistically, doesn't work because
Yeah.
the relationships in their lives aren't improving. It's just like theoretically speaking, I get it.
For sure.
I get it.
Yeah.
Practicality, no, not
Yeah.
working.
Yeah.
At
I'm not
at the
surprised.
minute level, there's a lot of like good positive things, like authentic relating and actually like listening and paying attention, eye contact, and there's a lot of cool things. But then it's as
Yeah.
you get deeper, it's like, oh,
And you have to wonder, like the guys are like not just guys, men and women who get into that kind of thing. It's just like somebody who runs for public office. Like they may get into it, like I'm going to make change and I'm going to do this right, and then they get in there and they start getting all this attention and shit starts going to their head. So you never know. You could take somebody who was probably a decent person, and then they get into that position or that role, and all of a sudden, they start over time just become a fucking dirtbag. So
yeah,
it happens a lot. It happens a lot.
it really does. Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Fucking love it. But
I'm out of that realm now. I'm back into the 3D and 4D world. I'm not living in the completely 5D, which is great. Like I'm like, okay, like the world works this way. Like you can try and change it, but I think my theory, the only way the world's going to change is if we have another like mass extinction. We start at zero again for maybe not zero, but like a couple 100,000 people. Like the only way the world's going to change is like nuclear war or some sort of like catastrophe, because like the rich are in charge, and the more the rich get richer, the more the poor get poorer, and there's nothing is going to change. You can do peace rallies and connection and love wherever the fuck you want. It ain't going to make a fucking difference until the elite are no longer the elite, and your connection games aren't going to make it to them. It's not going to happen.
that's true. Yeah, people spend a lot of time railing against what they want the world to be. We all want those things, but there's the way we want the world to be, then the way the world is.
Exactly.
And you just have to make that distinction.
I think the big thing is, as long as you change the world that's immediately around you by like the people you
Right.
surround yourself with, the place that you live, you can change that. That is about as much as you can change. You can change your perception of the universe based on the changes you make with yourself, but on a grand global scale, it's not going to do shit. And then I know it's like, well, people always say it's like, well, that's not the attitude to have, and like, it's if you don't try, nothing will happen. I'm like, people have been trying forever.
Yes.
Since the dawn of man, people have been rebelling against the elites, and it's never. I mean, it's worked maybe in like the medieval times where they'd have like mutinies and they'd overthrow kings, but then just be some new tyrant, just be some new fucking politician. It's like
somebody take their place.
Yeah, exactly. Like you kick them out, someone else comes in. It happens, right? Like so. I mean, I'm I'm a realist. I'm a realist in that sense. I try to be. I'm optimistic in my world, but in the global scheme of things, I'm like, we're fucked.
It's kind of funny now that you mention it. Like you could be one of those corporate types or one of those, whatever you want to call it, like doesn't believe in anything outside of just what we're seeing, flesh and bone and everything else. And like we think, oh, they must be miserable. Like they don't know the secret to life. And then you get somebody on the exact opposite end of the spectrum thinking that they're all in touch with everything and they're all these things, but they actually could be just as miserable as the guy wearing the suit because they're still upset. Like they're upset that other people won't change, get better, and things won't be more peaceful. Is that really peaceful and a good way to live? Being stressed out about, like not being able to change things. So it's like, just deal with your little fucking world, right?
I think that everyone was like, what's the purpose or key to life? And my version of that is happiness. That's really, really it. If you like for example, my brother is a great example. Like to me, working, the same job, making really good money he does, but like, living in the house, coming home every night, doing it the same kind of routine over and over again, to me, that's not happiness. To me, that's hell. But he truly, truly loves his life. He's like, maybe doesn't love every day he's like hopping around at work, but like he really loves the security, the safety, the financial, the house, the wife, the dog. Like he actually loves his life. And I'm like, good for you, man. Like don't change. If that's what you want to do it. Right. So that's happiness to him. That's miserable to me. So people that live in just like the, ties and suits, if they're happy, awesome. If you want to be woo-woo spiritual, I'm going to love and fuck everybody and do whatever the hell you want to do down here and like, live in a jungle and that's truly what you want to do. It makes you happy. Fucking do it. Do it. Right. As long as you're happy, it doesn't matter. And here's the thing.
Live your life and not somebody else's idea of what your life should be.
Both worlds can exist. Both, like the one love everybody, that can exist. The I go to work every single day, come home, that can exist too. And they have to exist. Like the reason why these people can work their jobs is because there's these people that are living their lives. If everyone did the exact same thing, the world would collapse. We need the polarity between the two different universes, or 3 or 4, however many they might be.
Yeah. That's true. Yeah, it's somebody's got to keep the planet running. I mean, as much
100%.
as we, right before you wrap up here, it's like that show Landman. I don't know if you've seen it. It's on.
No, I want to.
It's got Billy Bob. It's really good. You would love it. It reminded you of your oil rig days too. It's fucking pretty intense, even though it's in Texas, the same shit.
But I worked in Texas in the oil rigs.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I forgot about it.
New Mexico and Texas.
Yeah, this one's in the Permian Basin, which is probably not too far from. I mean, it's the big area outside Odessa. Anyway, it's all filmed on location too. But anyway, it's like people like, of course, oil and fossil fuels and whatever. I mean, those aren't good for anybody. It's whether it's changing the climate or not. I mean, it's still not good. But the thing is, like they made a point in there. If we got rid of all that, like everything's got, plastic has oil in it.
Everything.
We can't, you know what I mean? So all the things that people hate and complain about. There's certain things need to change, yes, but it's just, dude, the world's got to fucking spin, man. Just deal with your little life and be happy in your little life, because otherwise you're going to go to your grave complaining the entire goddamn time and look back for what?
That reminded me of, I think it was in the last 10 years, there is this will be the last thing on the oil change and we'll wrap it up here, but there was a protest of offshore drilling rigs in Seattle, I think it was. So they had 500 tree hugger Greenpeace people paddle out to the oil rig in plastic oil-made kayaks to protest oil.
Yeah.
Do you not see the irony? Like you're using plastic or you're using oil. Yeah. So it's like, it's weird.
It's
but
not. Look, it's not ideal, but fuck, somebody come up with a better idea. We're not there yet. But anyway, co-working session number 1. Hopefully we got a lot done. Hopefully there's some value in this. I mean, we worked through a couple problems, and we'll keep everybody posted on that. And we'll surely, as soon as we get off of this call, another problem is going to arise, and we'll talk about it next time. We're going to do these twice a week. I will edit these down, so whatever version you're seeing is the edited version. So if that one still sucks, I can't help you. Nothing we can do about it. But anyway, we'll see everybody in a couple of days. We have I think 5 or 6 guests coming up, right?
Yes.
Something like
I
that.
have a meet. I got confetti now.
Jesus Christ. How come I can't do anything? I can't do anything. I don't have a rave going on here. Fuck.
I have a meeting with Chanel at 1 o'clock my time to go over the list of interviews, and she wants to come on next week as well. So she wants to be online.
So what we'll do is we'll start scheduling within Riverside now. It sends out that little calendar invite, which is pretty convenient. And then I guess just text me over the names. Well, I have her email address, but you know what to do. You know what to do. And then, all right, dude, sounds good. To be continued, everybody. We'll see you in a few days.